My mother-in-law offered to help with our daughter's school project. When it was presented, she took full credit for the work. I just wanted to make sure she succeeded. She beamed. My daughter's response in front of the class left her speechless. I'm a dad to a 12-year-old daughter named Lily. Smart, curious, loves building things and getting her hands dirty. My wife, Sarah, and I are super proud of her. But this story isn't about us. It's about my mother-in-law, Barbara. Yeah. That kind of story. Let me start by saying Barbara is the kind of person who walks into a room and immediately needs it to be about her. She's loud, always right, always has a better way, and never, ever lets anyone forget how much she helps. So, a few weeks ago, Lily's school announced a science fair. She was pumped. She started brainstorming ideas right away, had a notebook full of sketches and questions, and decided she wanted to grow plants in different types of soil to see how it would affect growth. Basic but solid. She had plans. She wanted to test store-bought soil, backyard dirt, sand, and even tried compost. She talked about it non-stop. And one Sunday, while we were all sitting around the table talking about it, Barbara jumped in. I could help with that. I used to do science fairs with Sarah back in the day. We always won. I should have said no. At first, I thought it would be a good bonding thing. Barbara and Lily don't always connect, so I figured maybe this could be good. Lily was hesitant, but polite. Sure, Grandma. Then Barbara started showing up every single day. She'd come in, arms full of folders and printed charts and store-bought seedlings. Not once did she ask Lily what she wanted to do. Barbara completely took over. Lily, you don't want to use backyard dirt. It's full of bugs. Oh honey, your chart's not right. Let me fix that. Let Grandma do this part. It's a little tricky. It was like watching a steamroller flatten a flower. Lily started pulling back. She barely said anything at dinner. When I asked how it was going, she just shrugged. Sarah tried talking to her mom, gently reminding her to let Lily take the lead. Barbara got defensive. I'm just trying to help. I want her to succeed. Don't you? It got worse. I walked into the garage one day to find Barbara repotting plants by herself. Lily wasn't even home from school yet. When I said, shouldn't Lily be doing that? Barbara just said, she'll thank me later. This way it's done right. That night I talked to Sarah. She agreed it had gone too far. We both decided we'd ask Barbara to back off. But before we got the chance, Barbara submitted the finished project to the school herself. She literally filled out the registration form online and listed herself as the adult assistant. Lily didn't even know. When we told her, she looked like someone had punched her in the stomach. Fast forward to Science Fair Day. Lincoln Middle School's gym was packed. Folding tables lined with all kinds of projects, solar ovens, volcanoes, wind turbines, you name it. Parents were everywhere, hovering, snapping pictures, chatting with teachers. We walked in with Lily carrying her trifold board and a small table with her plants. And of course, Barbara was already there. She'd printed extra graphs, taped down perfectly typed labels, and even brought a laser pointer. A laser pointer? For a 6th grade project? I pulled Sarah aside and said, this is insane. She's treating it like a business pitch. Sarah just rubbed her temples and whispered, not now. Let's just get through it. 2 judges approached our table. Middle-aged science teachers, clipboard in hand, smiling. Before Lily could open her mouth, Barbara jumped in. Hi there. I'm Barbara. I guided Lily through this entire project. She worked so hard, but I made sure it was scientifically accurate. I'm not even exaggerating. She said that. Right to their faces. Lily was frozen. The judges nodded, asked a few questions, took some notes, and moved on. Barbara turned to Lily and said, great job, sweetheart. We nailed it. We nailed it. Lily didn't say a word. We left the school quietly. Barbara was beaming. She kept going on about how proud she was, how she always knew Lily had it in her. Lily didn't look proud. She looked hollow. That night she asked if she could redo the project on her own, just for herself. No contest. No prize. Just to actually learn something. Sarah and I looked at each other and said yes. She got some pots, soil, and seeds from the hardware store. She set up everything in the backyard and started from scratch. She kept a journal, took photos, recorded growth day by day. She did it all herself. And she was happy. Then something unexpected happened. The school announced that a few students would be invited to present their projects in front of the whole grade, kind of a show and tell for the best entries. Lily was one of them. Barbara, of course, lost her mind. "We have to go. I need to prepare a speech. Should I wear my green blazer or my blue one?" I had had enough. I told her, "This isn't your moment." She rolled her eyes and muttered something about how ungrateful we were. The day of the presentation arrived. The auditorium was packed with students, teachers, and parents. Lily stepped up to the podium with her board behind her and her little plant samples lined up neatly. Barbara was in the front row, camera ready. Lily took a deep breath, and then she dropped the hammer. Lily stepped up to the microphone, small hands gripping the sides of the podium. Her face was calm. Too calm. You know that kind of stillness where you just know something big is about to drop? That was Lily. She looked out at the crowd, then glanced at her own display. Not the one Barbara hijacked. This was the one she built herself from the dirt up. "Hi, I'm Lily," she said, her voice steady. "I want to talk about what I really learned from my science project." Barbara in the front row was already smiling like a pageant mom, nodding along like she expected to get a round of applause any second. Lily continued, "I did 2 science projects this year. One was entered into this fair. The other one I did by myself. That caught some attention. Teachers leaned forward. A few parents whispered. Sarah stiffened beside me. I didn't breathe. Lily turned toward her board and pointed to her charts. These results are mine. I measured everything. I planted everything. I even made mistakes, but I fixed them. No one helped me with this." She turned back. The first project was taken over. I didn't really get to do anything except watch. I felt like my name was on something I didn't understand. That didn't feel like success. It felt fake. Dead silence. Barbara stopped smiling. After the assembly, it was like someone had flipped the gossip switch. You could feel the tension in the hallway. Other parents didn't even look at Barbara. A few teachers came up to Lily and shook her hand. They didn't say much, just smiled, nodded. But the message was clear. They got it. When we got home, Barbara was already there. She had driven straight to our house to talk. "I cannot believe you all let her humiliate me like that in front of everyone," she said the second we walked in. Sarah snapped. "She told the truth. You did take over. And now everyone knows." Barbara turned on me. "And you're supposed to be her father. You should have stopped this." "No," I said. "I should have stopped you." Then came the line that cracked the whole thing wide open. "You think I did this for me? I did it because she would have failed without me." Lily heard that from the hallway. She didn't say anything. Just walked upstairs. Later that week, the school called. Apparently, they were considering giving Lily a separate recognition for her second project, the one she did alone. They said they were reviewing policies and asked if we'd be okay with them sharing it as a case study in a professional development meeting for teachers. Word spread. Barbara was furious. She accused the school of playing politics and even hinted that she might file a complaint for disrespecting family contribution. We couldn't believe it. She still didn't get it. But then, a twist. Someone posted about the science fair on the school's parent Facebook group. It started simple, just a proud mom talking about how her son was inspired by Lily's speech. But then more comments rolled in. Some parents started sharing stories about their own kids being pushed too hard by grandparents, tutors, even parents. It turned into a real conversation. And in the middle of it all, someone, not us, brought up Barbara by name. People were not nice. At this point, Barbara started calling other family members. She called Sarah's sister in Illinois, her cousin in Florida, her brother in Oregon, crying, saying we were cutting her out and that Lily had turned into a little diva. We started getting messages. Long, dramatic texts from Sarah's aunt. A phone call from her cousin who hadn't spoken to us in years, asking if we were okay and what happened to the family. Sarah had to call every one of them and explain. Most of them were understanding. Some weren't. The fallout was real. And it wasn't over. One night, maybe 2 weeks after the presentation, Barbara came over again. Uninvited. She stood in our kitchen like she owned the place. "I want Lily to apologize," she said. I almost laughed. For what? For making me look like a fool. For ruining what was supposed to be a proud moment. Sarah stayed quiet. She looked tired. Like something in her finally gave up. You need to leave, she said. And don't come back unless you're ready to apologize to her. Barbara's face didn't change. She just nodded once, turned, and left. Lily's been quieter than usual. Not sad. Not withdrawn. Just quiet, like her brain's still turning over everything that happened. She's back to building things again. Recently, she started a little garden in our backyard. Every plant is labeled. There's a notebook on the porch with daily notes and sketches. She doesn't talk about the science fair. Not anymore. But I know something's still brewing. And I have a feeling we're not done yet. Because the school just announced that next year's science fair theme will be independent exploration. And guess who they want as a student speaker? Yeah, Lily. And guess who just found out and texted Sarah with a 2-word message? I'm coming. So yeah, the school wanted Lily to speak at next year's science fair. As a kind of honorary guest. They told us they'd seen a real shift in student involvement after her speech, more kids wanting to do their own thing, fewer parents doing the projects for them. They called it the Lily effect. We were proud. Nervous, but proud. Then we got the email they wanted Barbara to attend too. Not as a speaker. Not as a guest of honor. But because someone on the PTA, someone who didn't know the full story, thought it would be heartwarming to invite the helpful grandmother from last year. We didn't know whether to laugh or throw something. We told Lily. She just said, let her come. I don't care. But you could tell she did. A few days later, something weird happened. Lily came home from school holding a flyer. A new science club was forming for students and mentors. They'd be paired with an experienced science adult to develop advanced projects over the summer. And guess who had signed up as a mentor? Barbara. And guess which student got paired with her? Lily. We thought it was a joke at first. Some kind of clerical error. Nope. Barbara had called the school, dropped Lily's name and said, she and I work well together. We have a system. I saw red. Sarah called the school right away and raised hell. They apologized, said it was a misunderstanding, that Barbara had misrepresented her relationship with Lily and they'd fix it. But Barbara wasn't done. A week later, Lily's locker was broken into, not vandalized, just emptied. Her journal, plant samples, photos, all gone. Security checked the cameras. Nothing. No leads. Lily was crushed. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just sat at the kitchen table and whispered, it was all in there. Everything I worked on. Then she went to her room and stayed there for hours. Later that night, Sarah got a message on Facebook. It was from an old neighbor of Barbara's. Someone who didn't even live in the state anymore. The message just said, tell your daughter to keep her stuff somewhere safer. Some people never change. You know who I mean. We checked her home cameras. Nothing. We checked the garage, the backyard, even the trash. Then Lily came down with an old flash drive. I scanned everything, she said. Just in case. She had saved digital copies of her photos, graphs, journal pages. She didn't trust Barbara. She never had. Smart kid. We printed everything out again. She kept the flash drive on her at all times. She wore it like a necklace tucked into her hoodie. Barbara had no idea. Then we got a letter in the mail. No return address. Just a short, typed note. Watch what you say at the fair this year. Some reputations can't take another hit. No signature. No name. We reported it. Nothing came of it. But we knew. Barbara had gone from manipulative to threatening. And we realized this was no longer just about a science project. It was about control. She wanted control of Lily's achievements, of how people saw her, of the entire narrative. She'd built a little identity in the community, the wise, helpful grandma. And Lily's honesty had cracked it. Now she wanted to fix the story, even if it meant burning everything down. So we made a choice. If Barbara was going to play dirty, we weren't going to play dumb. Lily came up with the idea. She'd do another project, something even bigger, more advanced. But she'd only present it on one condition: she got to write the speech herself. No one read it. Not even us. I'll say what I want to say, she told us. No more editing. No more fixing. No more protecting feelings. We agreed. And she got to work. We sent in the RSVP for the fair. Yes, Lily would speak. Yes, Barbara could attend as a guest. Not as family. We didn't tell Barbara about the new project. Or the speech. But someone must have tipped her off. Maybe a teacher. Maybe another parent. Because 1 week before the event, she showed up on our porch. I know what you're planning, she said, smiling like it was a joke. But remember, I'm not the villain here. I made the project a winner. I made her a winner. I looked at her and said, we'll see. And that's where we are now. The fair is in 5 days. Barbara is coming. Lily's ready. And her speech? I have no idea what she's going to say. But I know this, whatever it is, it's going to blow the roof off that auditorium. And Barbara? She has no idea what's coming. The gym at Lincoln Middle School felt tighter this year. Crowded. People knew something was coming. Maybe it was the tension, maybe it was the curiosity, but the seats were packed. Students, parents, teachers, even the superintendent was there. Lily stood in line with the other student speakers. Calm. Quiet. Her flash drive necklace hidden under her hoodie. Barbara sat in the second row. Bright pink suit, loud scarf, and that same smug grin she always wore when she thought she was about to be praised. Sarah and I sat behind her. I kept my phone in my hand, recording everything. The host called Lily's name. She walked to the mic small steps. No papers in hand. And then she said this, "Hi. My name is Lily. Last year, I stood here with a science project that wasn't really mine. Someone else made the charts, ran the tests, glued everything down. I let them because I thought I had no choice." Barbara's head turned slightly. Her smile dropped, just a little. I was told I would fail without help. That I wasn't good enough on my own. But this year, I decided I didn't care if I failed. I wanted to know what I was doing. I wanted to mess up, try again, and figure it out myself. She clicked her flash drive into the laptop. Her presentation started, time-lapse videos of her garden, her graphs, photos of her scribbled notes. All of it hers. Everything you see behind me, I did alone. No one fixed it. No one cleaned it up. And yeah, maybe it's messy, but it's real. Barbara was frozen. And then, the final blow. I want to thank my real teachers. My science teacher, my dad, and my mom for stepping back when I needed space. And I want to remind everyone, if you do something for someone just to take credit for it, that's not help. That's stealing. And if you're doing it for yourself, just admit it. Don't hide behind words like help. She stepped away. Silence. Then the crowd exploded. We walked out of the gym like a storm just passed. Barbara didn't say a word. Not one. She left before the end of the program. Didn't even stop to look at Lily's new project booth. Just marched out stiff and red-faced. Later that night, she tried to call Sarah. Sarah didn't answer. Then she sent a long email, 3 paragraphs of twisted blame, playing the victim, accusing us of turning Lily against her. Sarah didn't respond. I did. I wrote back one sentence, "You did that yourself." A few weeks went by. The silence was nice. Then, more fallout. Barbara's reputation? Gone. She used to be invited to speak at the PTA. They stopped calling. She used to brag about how many parents wanted her tutoring advice. Not anymore. Her Facebook went from full to silent. No more hearts. No more "what an inspiration." Even Sarah's family, cousins, uncles started quietly drifting away from her. The aunt who used to defend her sent Lily a card that just said, "Proud of your courage. You're teaching all of us." Now I gotta own something too. I let it get this far. I let Barbara push Lily around for years, not just with the science project. She used to correct her art, help with her stories. I let it slide. Because I didn't want to fight. I wanted peace. But peace at the cost of your kid's voice? That's not peace. That's silence. So yeah, I made a mistake. But Lily didn't. She saw it. She fixed it. She burned the fake story to the ground and built a real one in its place. Lily's been asked to lead a student workshop now for younger kids who want to learn how to build projects without outside help. She calls it "my messy project." It's honest. Hands-on. No printouts. No shortcuts. Barbara? She tried once more to show up to a school event. She wasn't allowed in. Apparently, someone in the front office flagged her as disruptive. And honestly, that's fair. Lily's not bitter. She's not angry. She doesn't brag. She just works. But me? I'm not over it. And I don't need to be. Because when someone tries to steal your kid's light, you don't forgive easily. Sometimes revenge is loud. And sometimes it's just letting the truth stand there, bright, undeniable, and way more powerful than a fake trophy. Lily's project didn't win last year. But it destroyed a lie. And that's the kind of win no ribbon can measure.